In modern basketball, the point guard position is extremely important. We often say they're the equivalent of the coach on the court, as playing at the one requires leadership and high basketball IQ. To be a good point guard, you also need to be able to handle the ball, play make, and score in order to control the rhythm and flow of the offense. So in this video, I'm going to present you my list of the 10 greatest point guards in NBA history. But first, I'd like to give a few honorable mentions to Bob Cousy, Walt Frazier, Tony Parker, Damian Lillard, Nate Tiny Archibald, and Kyrie Irving. Also, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to help support the channel, as I will greatly appreciate it. It will also help me make some more quality content and fire videos. Now, with all that being said, let's start the top 10 with Gary Payton. The Glove is known to be one of the greatest trash talkers ever.
There we go.
He's also the only point guard in NBA history to have won a Defensive Player of the Year. Alongside his all-star teammate Shawn Kemp, Gary Payton was the face of the Seattle Supersonics for many years. The Sonics even managed to make the NBA Finals in 1996, where they notably defeated the Utah Jazz in the conference finals. In that 96 Finals series, Payton limited MJ to his lowest Finals points per game average of his career, but Seattle still ended up losing in 6 games to the Chicago Bulls. Gary Payton also has a solid resume. He's a 9-time All-Star for as many All-NBA and All-Defensive selections. He won the Defensive Player of the Year and led the league in steals in 1996, and he finally won a ring as a 37-year-old veteran with the Miami Heat in 2006. At number 9, we find an athletic phenom, Russell Westbrook. Russ is possibly the most explosive point guard ever, and he electrifies the crowd each game with some powerful dunks. On the court, Westbrook turns into an absolute beast. He's a great finisher, he's one of the best rebounding point guards ever, and he's a prolific assist man, which results in him being a triple-double machine. In fact, he averaged a triple-double for 4 different seasons, and he became the all-time leader in total career triple-doubles. Westbrook's energy and passion allowed him to make 9 All-Star games and 9 All-NBA teams. He won the 2017 MVP, he got 2 scoring titles, he led the league in assists 3 times, and he's a 2-time All-Star Game MVP. Now, with all that praise being given to Westbrook, he does have a few weaknesses and bad aspects about his game and his career that prevented him from ranking higher.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Wide gap.
I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
Russ is indeed known for being more of a ball-dominant player who sometimes cares too much about his stats. He usually struggles with his efficiency, shot selection, and decision-making, and he's technically the worst high-volume 3-point shooter ever, and all that resulted in 3 early first-round exits when he finally became the franchise player in OKC. Now, with all that being said, Westbrook still has the talent and career accomplishments to be a top 10 point guard ever and a top 50 player of all time. Following Westbrook, we find Jason Kidd. Kidd is what we call an all-around player. He would defend perfectly the opposite team's guard and then put his teammates in the best position to score on the offensive end of the court. And when it came to being the leader of his team, Jason Kidd was great. In 2001, before Kidd came in New Jersey, the Nets only won 26 games that year. But when Kidd arrived the season after, the Nets captured the first seed in the East with a 52-30 record. Kidd even led them to 2 NBA Finals appearances where they fell short against Kobe and Shaq's Lakers in 2002 and then Tim Duncan's Spurs in 2003.
The kick out, Jackson's hit 2 big threes, he's hit 3!
Kidd showed his talent since the beginning, as he won Co-Rookie of the Year in 1995. He finally ended up winning a championship near the end of his career with the 2011 Dallas Mavericks. He ranks second on both the all-time assist and steals list, and he even finished second in MVP voting in 2002. The only issue with Kidd is that he was both a low-volume and inefficient scorer. Continuing the list, we find another Hall of Famer, Steve Nash. Nash was a very good ball handler, a precise 3-point shooter, and one of the greatest passers of all time. Just like Jason Kidd, Steve Nash had a big impact on his team. In 2004, despite having very solid players on their roster, the Suns only had a 29-53 record. But the season right after, when Nash was traded to Phoenix, they improved to a 62-20 record, good for the first seed in the West. Throughout his career, Nash made it to 4 conference finals, but systematically failed to reach the championship round.
Nash with a crafty move.
He did surprisingly win back-to-back MVPs in 05 and 06, and he had 4 seasons with 50-40-90 shooting splits.
Thank you.
At number 6, we have Chris Paul.
Chris Paul. Ooh, it's got to go in, Smitty. It's got to go in.
CP3 is a highly skilled player with great basketball IQ and overall understanding of the game, which is why he always had a big effect and impact on every team he's been on. He even finished second in MVP voting in 08 and helped the Phoenix Suns reach the NBA Finals in 2021. Chris Paul has overall great stats for a point guard as well as impressive accolades.
In the switch, and West has got the defensive assignment. Paul with the bounce.
Entering the top 5, we got John Stockton. Stockton had a great longevity and durability, as he had 16 seasons playing all 82 games and made the playoffs every single season of his 19-year career, which includes 2 finals appearances. Throughout that great Hall of Fame career, Stockton became the all-time leader in steals and assists by a wide margin. But on top of being an elite passer and a very good defender, he was also a capable scorer, as he averaged 13 points per game throughout his career with some very strong efficiency.
Open three. John Stockton sends the Utah Jazz to the NBA Finals.
At number 4, we have Isaiah Thomas, the leader of the famous Bad Boys Pistons, a team that made 3 straight finals and won back-to-back championships at the end of the 80s, between the Lakers and Celtics dynasties and the Chicago Bulls' dominance in the 90s. From an individual standpoint, Isaiah Thomas was the best ball handler of his era, but he was also a great passer that could either shoot or finish at the rim. Isaiah is a 12-time All-Star, 2-time All-Star Game MVP, the 1985 assist leader, and the 1990 Finals MVP. Isaiah is overall quite underrated, except from Detroit fans of course. Next up, we got Oscar Robertson. On top of being one of the best NBA players of the 60s, Robertson also had a certain cultural impact as he fought against racism, notably helping the future of black people in the league. The Big O was the first player to ever average a triple-double for a full season, and he came very close from doing it on 4 different occasions. And thanks to his reliable mid-range jumper, he averaged over 30 points per game multiple seasons. Robertson won an MVP in 1964 and helped the Bucks with a young Kareem Abdul-Jabbar win the championship in 1971. The issues with Robertson are that he couldn't lead his own team to a championship and that his numbers aren't as impressive when looking at stat inflation. At number 2, we have Stephen Curry. Steph is considered to be one of the most influential players of all time, as he revolutionized the game and changed the way we play the sport of basketball, whether it's in the NBA or in the playground. Because of Steph, we see players shoot deep shots and transition threes all the time now.
They've almost degraded into it. Curry at 5. Curry for the lead.
The baby-faced assassin is one of the most skilled players in the history of basketball and possibly the biggest offensive threat ever. He constantly moves without the ball and relocates, but he's not quite bad once the ball arrives in his hands either. He's an elite ball handler, a great finisher for his size, as well as a good passer. Curry is also clutch, and as we all know, is the greatest shooter in NBA history.
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
In his resume, the chef has won back-to-back MVPs, which includes the only unanimous selection in 2016. He has 3 NBA championship rings, 2 scoring titles, and in 2016, he also led the league in steals and entered the 50-40-90 club. Curry also has great stats, he always had huge value to his team, and thanks to his cultural impact, is one of the most popular athletes in today's NBA. And at number 1, we find one of the very greatest players of all time, regardless of positions, Magic Johnson. Magic is simply put the best passer of all time, but he was also more than a capable scorer that had a big effect and value on his Lakers team, probably thanks to his vision and playmaking abilities. Him and Larry Bird basically saved the NBA as they revitalized the league in the 80s, massively helping its popularity. Despite having a shortened 12-year career, Magic still presents one of the best resumes ever. He's a 12-time All-Star that made 9 NBA Finals, winning 5 championships, and he is one of the 3 players in NBA history to have won both at least 3 MVPs and Finals MVPs. Well, that is going to be it for today. Feel free to give your own top 10 in the comment section and make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell.